This is part of the series of videos from the Nourish Nutrition Business Program. So today I want to chat with you about a common limiting belief system that new nutritionists and health coaches often experience that stops them from being able to get out of the starting gate as a holistic nutritionist. And that is the idea that you don't know enough. And so what will happen is in your mind, you will literally loop this experience that causes you basically emotional pain, doubt, self-doubt. And it really is based on a faulty thought process that is completely unproductive and will keep you exactly where you are with your knowledge and experience, and will stop you from actually being able to make your way into the world as a holistic nutritionist. Many people don't ever start their business after they get their holistic nutrition certificate or their health coaching certificate. And this is one of the major reasons or excuses that I hear from people that stops them from moving forward. And it's really, really sad, because think back to when you first had the idea of becoming a health coach or holistic nutritionist. What you experienced was this feeling of joy and excitement around the idea of learning more about nutrition. And then you saw yourself helping people. You saw yourself making a difference. And when you were thinking about them and all the ways that you could help people prevent disease or heal themselves, you felt positive excitement. And before you started, and while you were in the process of learning, you were focused on that. And in that focus, you had the confidence that you could do it. But then you start to get closer to the end of your certification or your time in school, and then the self-doubt starts to rear its head, right? It's this idea that you don't know enough. What if a client comes to me and I don't know the answer to a question? What if I do a public talk and somebody asks me a question and I don't know the answer, or somebody outright tells me I'm wrong in front of all these people, and the shame that I might feel because of that, or embarrassment, right? Suddenly, all of our focus and our thought went from when we were inspired, where we were thinking about how we were going to support and help other people achieve their health goals, to all being focused on ourselves and worrying about how we're going to be perceived. So it goes from being focused on serving and giving back to focused on fear and doubt and insecurity about our own self-worth, about our own capabilities. And this is a massive problem, because the truth is never coming from you, from God or the creator, or just the benevolent universe in the form of fear. These are lies that your mind is coming up with to stop you from living your dream life and from making a difference and actually changing the paradigm that people have about what it takes to achieve and maintain their health. So when you were initially getting started on the path, something drew you. Some sort of synchronistic event called you forward and put, this certificate of nutrition or health coaching, the school that you found. This somehow came into your awareness. Out of all the people on the entire planet, in comparison, there's such a small percentage of people who are called to this work. Okay? And you were one of them. That's why you were inspired to take your training. So you were called to this. And that has so much meaning to it. That was the truth. The truth was that somehow you were designed in a certain way that would enable you to be part of this movement to transform this culture's perspective of what it takes to be healed, to heal themselves, to understand that it's actually the body that heals itself. And your job as a holistic nutritionist or health coach is to help guide people on a path to do what needs to get done: diet, lifestyle, emotions, that will allow them to put together the foundation in place in their life to eliminate the things that are going to stop them from healing and add the things that are going to support their body's inherent vital healing capacity to heal. Right? You signed up for that. You were called to it. Okay, there's a saying out there: God doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called. And that's the reason why I'm so happy to be doing this training today, okay, is because I want to bring you back to that place of where you were when you got called to this. To stop listening to those voices of fear and doubt, and to go back to that place where you felt passion for this work, when you felt called to it, and you weren't listening to those voices. What was there? What called you to do this work? Okay. From my experience, what called me was I healed myself of mono when I was in my early 20s. I basically went to the doctor. The doctor said, here is some pills called antibiotics that will help with your strep throat. Otherwise, there's nothing we can do for you. And I had been lucky enough that the synchronicities came together to put me on this path, just like they did for you. When I was in aesthetic school, training to become an esthetician, at the age of 19 years old, my instructor said to me, go to the health food store, buy some evening primrose oil. It's great for hair, skin, and nails. Up to this point, I had never been to a health food store other than to buy some peanut butter, because for who knows reason, that was the only natural food I had been exposed to was, peanut butter without additives in it. And I was like, wow, like I loved natural peanut butter, but it was the only thing I knew about a health food store. When I'd walk in the health food store, I would literally it looked all so foreign to me. I didn't even have curiosity about it. Strangely, I can't imagine that now. I just wanted that peanut butter, right? So anyways, I go to the health food store and I meet this woman who is pregnant. She's 8 months pregnant. And she is the owner of a health food store, or the co-owner of a health food store that her husband, who is a naturopathic doctor, started in Vancouver. And she stood before me, pregnant, with a story of how she had been told by medical doctors that she could never have a baby because she had endometriosis. And then, synchronicity, thank God her husband followed the synchronicities and the passion in his life, okay, to become a naturopathic doctor, and didn't get stuck in the feelings and the fears of not knowing enough, or what if he couldn't help someone, okay? Don't think that this is just, you because you're a holistic nutritionist and you don't have 8 years of schooling. People in all sorts of professions have worthiness issues and fears that they can't help. Do you think that every single practitioner gets results with every single client that they have? No, this is a fear that everybody experiences. Thank God he didn't let that stop him. Okay. So he helps her to bring her body back into balance so it can heal itself. There she's standing in front of me, 8 months pregnant. Okay. Not only does him stepping into his path in life support him and all of his patients, but it literally is a catalyst for me changing my life. He doesn't have any idea. She doesn't have any idea. This woman that tells me the story, and she plants a seed in my mind that, so even though the medical establishment says that I have a named disease that can't be cured, that I actually have the capability to heal myself. My body is inherently designed to be able to heal. And all I need to do is find out how to support that instead of stop it from happening. So when I got that prescription from the doctor to just go home and sleep and have some antibiotics for my strep throat, the first thing I thought was, I'm going to go and I'm going to see this woman because someone told her that she was not going to be able to have children. She got this diagnosis, which is essentially a nocebo. Okay, a nocebo is when you plant something in somebody's mind that's negative, and then they act it out. Okay, and they make it their reality because they believe it. Opposite of the placebo, right? Where a placebo in a positive sense is you give somebody a sugar pill and they believe in the pill that's going to heal them, and they actually heal, right? There's also nocebos. So I went to her because I thought if she could heal herself of something the doctors told her was incurable, well, then maybe she has some advice for me. And I went to the book prescription, or I went to talk to her, and she opened the book Prescriptions for Nutritional Healing. Okay, let's see. If you guys don't have this already, you need to have this. Where is it? Right here. Okay, she opens this book to the section on mono, and she shows me the supplements, the top supplements that are recommended for people with mono. And, you know, at the time I'm making minimum wage as a esthetician, and she, from the goodness of her heart, gives me 30% off so that I can afford to buy as much supplements as possible. And I go home, I take the supplements, I think she photocopied that section of the book for me, and I'm reading all these diet and lifestyle things. And then I realize that I have to like literally transform my diet. So I literally go into my kitchen and I replace everything that is not whole foods. And I start eating whole foods. I start spending my time in health food stores, libraries, coffee shops, reading books that I got from the health food store, from the library on health. And within 2 weeks, I literally feel 70% better. 70% better. I never missed one day of work with a bona fide diagnosis of having mono. And from then on, because I was able to take my health into my own hands, it really gave me this feeling like I wanted to shout from the mountaintops to people, like, oh my God, like, you do not have to accept these diagnoses. You can actually heal yourself. And it started me on this path and of having a passion for helping people to take their power back, to take their health into their own hands. And it really was a synchronistic experience that put me on the path to doing what I do today, which is now 42 years of age. I've been working in the natural health field for 22 years. And that passion has never left me. So I ask you right now to just stop and think what motivated you to get on the path. And recognize that that wasn't an accident. You know, if you came to nutrition school without that, you thought this looks like a job I could have, and it's, not a lot of years of school, and that's your reason, well, then it would make sense why you wouldn't actually follow through on becoming a nutritionist. But likely if you're watching this, that's not you. Something called you to this work. And that something didn't call you for no reason. Didn't call you because, you are, just to waste a year of your life. It didn't, at the end of the day, let's face it, anybody who goes through a health coaching certification or holistic nutrition training, there's so much value in that in terms of just how to apply it to your own life. But if you're watching this, there is even more value for it to you, because it means you actually get to express your life purpose, the gifts that you have in this world, and you get to make a living doing it. So instead of sitting in an office somewhere hating your job, that doing something that doesn't have a lot of meaning to you, you have, really you should have so much gratitude that you found that in your life. because many people, there's people my age who still don't know what their passion is. Okay. So you are so blessed for having been given this, having the synchronicity that came into play that brought you to this path. Now you've walked this journey of learning. And when you were focused on how you could serve and how you could help and how you could give back, you believed in it. You believed you could do it. And now when it comes to the idea of actually putting yourself out there, putting yourself on the line and starting a business, your focus is switched to the negative voices, right? It's like you have the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other side. And of course, God never speaks through fear. Truth never speaks through fear. So I want to give you some insight into why you do not have to wait. And in fact, it would be the worst thing you could ever do to start your nutrition business. So number one is it's crazy, like it's insanity. It's not logical to think that if you don't know enough now, that somehow you're going to know more later. Your mind can only hold so many things top of mind. If you can't remember certain things and think you don't know enough now, how do you think it's going to be 3 months from now or 6 months from now or 12 months from now if you don't put what you already learned into practice? That's how we actually maintain what we learned, is by putting it into practice. We master things by putting them into practice with other people and actually teaching. Now, your job as somebody who owns a business is to teach, right? That's how you market. That's beautiful. People, hate the idea of marketing. It's like, really? You hate the idea of helping and serving people through free content like this? No, you don't. It really comes down to a fear of being seen. It's these unworthiness issues. It's the devil on your shoulder that's telling you can't do it. You don't know enough. Okay. So if you don't do it now, this thought, I don't know enough, is just going to get stronger and worse. And for some, it has actually pulled you completely off the path. You now have moved on to something else that feels safer, where you feel like there's some sort of guarantee. And that's just not the life you're meant to live. Okay. Remember, God does not call the equipped. When it comes to a mission that's going to change, the lives of people, God equips the called. And here's the thing. You do not need to know the answer to how to help people. Okay. If you are not having somebody to help, you don't get the answers until you step forward, right? Because you don't need to know the answer. You do not need to know the answer if you're not going to serve. So why would all the answers come to you that would make you feel like you know enough when you haven't decided that you're going to do the work? You don't need the answer because you haven't decided. So you're going to stay in that feeling of not knowing enough. Now let's talk about the logic of this. How could you possibly feel like you knew enough if you hadn't actually worked with people and got experience, right? Like it's not logical. It's experience that teaches you. Okay, let me tell you a little story. I had a client whose baby had extreme eczema from top to bottom. Okay. And this person, doctors told her that her baby had incurable eczema. Okay. Now, when she came to me, all I had was my own experience of healing my son of eczema, or supporting my son's body to heal itself, right? Himself. I didn't do anything. I just had the knowledge of things to help implement so that the vital force could do the job, right? So, she came to me with that nocebo, right? She actually was able to overcome a nocebo in that experience. She was literally told by an authority, a medical doctor, that her son's eczema was incurable. And when she came to me, the only answer I knew was what worked for my son, right? Or the general stuff that we would apply to eczema. The minute that we started that package, I didn't know what was going to help her son with eczema, right? Because she's an individual person. Her son is an individual. Their experience is different. Okay. So, but did that stop me from taking her on? No. Why? Because I trust that I will be given the answers when I need them. This is a decision to make in your life. This will help you in all areas of your life. To trust that when you decide that you are going to serve and support the person, that the answers will come as you need them. You don't need to have all the answers in your head. In fact, if you thought you had all the answers, then you actually would not be a very good practitioner, because you would assume that your right way is the answer for each person. And that is actually going to limit you. So here's an example. So one of the first things that we did was we started working with typical healing the gut strategies. And that backfired big time, right? Because certain food sensitivities or intolerances are actually, like in her case, it was histamine and salicylate sensitivity. The typical gut healing diets are higher in those food chemicals. So actually just got worse at first. Okay. So did I lose faith? No. Why? Because I have a strong inherent belief system that the body is designed to heal itself. And all we have to do is keep trying different things until we find that thing that's going to work for that person. This is why you have to enroll people in packages, right? Because can you imagine if she hadn't put down her $4,000, right? And suddenly we're working together and we're doing one-off sessions, okay? And she gets worse. What would be her natural human tendency? To go, oh, this isn't working, and not to come back, right? So this is one of the reasons why you need to learn how to build a business, created in packages, and creating a signature system that you can walk people through systematically so that you can actually, track and take note of what's working and what's not working. So, okay, here's how the universe steps in. I didn't know the answer. I could see that what we were doing was making it worse. And like, I'm not kidding you. All I do is I ask the universe, send me the answer, send me the sign. And I literally get a new person coming in to my business who had used a specific diet to help her baby or her young child heal of eczema. But unfortunately, it didn't heal the gut. It just got rid of the eczema because she started avoiding a food group, right? And when she told me about this, I was like, oh my gosh, I wonder if those are the food chemicals that are bothering my client, because my approach that I was using, which is like a hybrid between David Rowland's leaky gut diet and the GAPS diet, was like making it worse, right? Because it was full of tons of fruits and vegetables, all full of salicylates and histamines from the cultured foods, and etc. And as soon as that I had that session with that woman, I applied that next approach. Let's systematically take out the histamines and salicylates and do as much as we can to heal the gut with what is something that she can eat that won't bother her baby, and reintroduce them slowly. That was the answer. 6 months later, her baby has no eczema. There's one food he can't eat. And this was a mother was breastfeeding. Okay. So it was partly about what she was eating. Then it became, he started eating food as well. So it was as much what she was eating because of the breast milk, and then what he was eating. So when I talked to her 6 months later, she said that the only thing he was reacting to still was cashews, after reacting to everything, like for months and months and months. And it took time to heal. And then I checked back with her again a year later, and he was able to eat the cashews. Okay. So did I know how I was going to be able to help this person? No. Did I even direct my client in the wrong direction at first? Yes. Were we able to ask for the answers and have faith that they would come? And yes. And did they come? Yes. And did we get her on the right track? Yes. And did she get results? Yes. Okay. That happened because we worked together closely and inside of a package. Okay? So that's one of the, things that you want to instate a foundation in your business so that you're not getting stuck on, this idea of like needing to know everything up front, right? It's like you've been educated in the conventional schooling system, which rewards you for knowing all the answers in advance, for memorizing things. People are complex beings. The more you can get comfortable in not knowing, the better off you're going to be as a holistic nutritionist. So think of yourself, or a health coach, think of yourself as like where you're at in this stage right now as being so beautiful, because now you get to let the experience teach you. You're gonna let your clients teach you. You're gonna learn through how people respond. You're not going to get a straight, narrow path that's going to work for every single client. And the sooner that you just accept that, the better you will be as a nutritionist. So living in the mystery of the unique individual and opening up to all possibilities and trusting that their body inherently is designed to heal and does want to heal. And there are outside forces in the universe that want to aid you in aiding your client to that end. You can call it God, you can call it spirit, you can call it the creator. It doesn't matter what you call it, but you do have support. Okay, you can tap into the collective unconscious where all the answers exist. So you don't need to know any more than you already know to help someone. The thought of actually thinking you know all the answers would be an extreme limitation. If you have a strong ego as a practitioner, you're going to be getting in the way of your clients getting results. So you're actually better off where you're at in the beginning so you can learn, right? So, I learned a whole bunch of like intellectual stuff around healing the gut. By this point, I'd studied holistic nutrition at the Edison Institute of Nutrition. I had a certificate from there. Then I studied at the Canadian School of Natural Nutrition, had a certification from there. I even healed my own child of eczema using the leaky gut diet. Okay. And I want to just back up on that because I want to express that sometimes that comes out like that, but what I really mean is I supported his body to heal, okay? Doing what it is naturally doing. And I still, with all of that knowledge and experience, and I read every, book there is on gut health, okay, before I had this client, and I still did not know the answer until I was in the process of working with her, okay? So you do not need to know everything. Now, another side of it is a lot of times with holistic nutritionists, we get to this idea like, well, I don't have enough schooling because I only went to school for 1 year. Okay. So I can't help people. Okay. That is also ridiculous on two levels. Number one is that's an entire year of knowledge that you have that every single person you work with does not have. So if they had to go and study all that to figure out what needs to happen in order to put the foundation in place for their body to heal, they're not going to do that. So guess what? They're never going to know. They're never going to know that you can use diet and food as medicine, lifestyle, emotional work, whatever it is that you focus on in your practice. They're never going to know because they're not going to do that. They're not going to spend that time that you spent. You're like a year of knowledge of reading and studying ahead of them that they're never going to do. So you know more than any average person, okay, that you could ever work with. So it just doesn't make sense. It's like they're in kindergarten and maybe you see what grade 12 would look like, but you're in grade 8 or grade 9. So of course you can help them. You can help them. You might be worried that you get to a place where you hit an obstacle with them. They can't heal anymore, okay? Because you're missing some knowledge. First of all, I'm going to tell you that if you believe what I said, if you hold that belief system, that is going to be your reality. You are going to, if you if you work in packages and that client is committed to doing what needs to be done, and you're committed to getting present for them and continuing to do research and being open to the answers, you will help that client get results because you believe that. Okay. But your people that come to you, they do not know the basics. Okay. So if they come to you and you just help them put the foundation in place of a whole foods diet and getting like the xenoestrogen type of diet or lifestyle, things that they're living, right? All this crap that they're putting on their body that's full of xenoestrogens. It's causing, sluggish liver, hormonal imbalance, all the digestion stuff. Okay. If all you do is put that foundation in place for them to heal, guess what? If you have to recommend that they see another practitioner to get some testing or something done, go to a naturopath and work in some different type of supplementation, how much better are their results going to be with the naturopath when you have supported them to put the foundation in place so that their lifestyle is not impeding the work that their naturopath is asking them to do to take it to the next level? Okay, you play an extreme strong role in the big paradigm of supporting people to be able to benefit from even natural and alternative medicine. Okay, or the work that they do with an energy healer, or the work that they do with a homeopath. If their diet and lifestyle, their basic stuff that you already know inside and out, because for sure you know this, the lifestyle of a natural diet and lifestyle, if they don't have that in place, when they go to these practitioners, they try to throw supplements on top of it, or energy work on top of it, or whatever herbs on top of it, but they don't have the basic human needs in place of what the body requires and what bothers it out of the picture, their results are going to be limited with those other modalities as well. So never underestimate the basic stuff that you know. Okay, now let's look at on the other side of it. Sometimes people, again, go with this thing of thinking, oh, I'm not worthy, or this isn't a valid education because it was only a year long. Okay. There is no other way of learning holistic nutrition right now. Okay. So you have to understand that you know more. You know so much, more than doctors do about nutrition. Of course you do. Do doctors spend a year studying nutrition? No, they do not. They have, 3 hours, maybe 6 hours if they're lucky. Okay, and what kind of nutrition are they learning, right? It's not holistic nutrition. It's not food as medicine, okay? It's more of a mechanistic perspective of nutrition. It's definitely not using food to heal. Okay, so you know way more than doctors. People are literally going to doctors for nutrition advice from people who didn't study nutrition. So yeah, you know way more about nutrition than a medical doctor. Okay, so you know a lot, right? And you know a lot more about how to put it into practice. That's the important part. There's lots of, you can learn about some people love to study nutrition, but they don't ever put it into practice, right? If you're a foodie, and if you are somebody who's called to this, you were literally called to this, you're inspired. You can't stop yourself from learning more. You can't stop yourself from implementing. It's become part of your life. Okay, you know it. You know it because you've embodied it. Okay, you also know it because you study it. How do you become an expert on things? Okay, you go to school. Do you think that I learned everything that I needed to know about gut healing at CSNN or the Edison Institute of Nutrition? No, I did not. I learned some basic foundational things, and then I became an expert on that because I chose to identify all the other people that are considered experts in that field, and I studied their work. That's how I'm becoming an expert right now in weight loss. Okay. First of all, I had an experience that happened in my life that I had to overcome. So I had that experience. Now I've experienced helping clients, but also I have every book that is out there from credible experts who I respect in the weight loss field, and I learned from them. That's how I became an expert. Not because I took a course on weight loss in holistic nutrition school. So if you're committed to this work, if you're committed to the path, if you're committed to making a difference, then you'll do that. You'll read those books, you'll take notes on them, you'll study them so that you can know enough. Okay. You should have that. It's one of the signs that you're on the right path and this is the work you're meant to be doing, is if you can't stop yourself from studying and researching because you're so passionate about it. Okay. If you don't have the passion, then for sure, you shouldn't be starting a business. You need to go, or at least not as a holistic nutritionist. Maybe you need to start another business. You should never become a holistic nutritionist if you are not passionate about helping people. This is their health and lives and the quality of their lives at stake. This is not a business you get into because you want to make money. Okay. This is a business that you get into because it's genuinely your passion. Just can't stop yourself from wanting to share it. Like when I healed myself of mono, I wanted to shout from the rooftops like, oh my God, all these people, they're suffering needlessly. They don't know how simple it can be to take your health into your own hands. And I wanted everyone to know about it. When you have that passion for it, it's a sign that you need to be doing this work. And you need to stop listening to those voices that tell you you don't know enough. The voices of self-doubt, of fear, that get you focused on your ego and how people are going to think of you and being afraid to speak your truth and all this garbage. Okay? You really get focused on the mission. When you get focused on the mission and you just start serving from your heart, you start making a difference for people. You start building your business. You start having clients. Then you start making a living doing what you love as well. All right. So I hope that that has helped you to really get the clarity about why you need to get started now. Don't let time be wasted. You have to build an audience. You have to build a community of people who are passionate to learn what you have to share. Okay? And this is what truly brings you to the feeling of really knowing what you know and embodying it, is actually teaching it to others, right? It could be as simple as, you just choose the area that you're the most passionate about, set up a Facebook page, a Facebook group, and start sharing content, other people's content. It doesn't even have to be yours on that topic. And as you're learning and sharing what you just know more and more and more and more, and you keep reading books and you keep sharing what you learn, and you're an expert. Okay, because people who are not passionate about topics don't go to that length. Okay. And you know what? People don't buy your knowledge. They don't buy oh, you're so smart because you have this degree or that degree or whatever, or that certification. What they buy into is your story. And if you don't have a story around something you're passionate about because you were just born with that passion, and often sometimes that's the place we're at when we're young, because we don't have, we haven't lived long enough to start to experience the wear and tear of life. And we don't have any negative symptoms that we have stories to share about, but you have that passion. People are engaged by the passion that you have. It inspires them. Okay. And, people are looking for that. Sometimes they're coming because they need some help. They're suffering from a pain and they want you to help them get rid of it. And sometimes they just want to feel alive. They just want to feel better. They just want to have more energy. They just want to have a more pleasurable experience. And they want to get into food. And now you are that inspiration for them to get healthier and to have a good relationship with their body and with nutrition and eating. And that inspiration that you share around the topic that you're the most passionate about inspires them. And then they'll want to learn from you. And then you can turn this passion that you have for sharing information, and then you can structure it into a series of classes. You can structure it into a group coaching program. You can structure it into a private package where you work individually with people. You could structure it into an e-course. Right? And so you get to just, live what your passion is and give back to others and make a living at the same time. Like in my experience, I never tire of studying nutrition. I mean, the idea of sitting down with a book on nutrition and drinking a cup of coffee out on my deck is oh my gosh, that is a good time for me. okay? Because it's my passion. So if you're watching this and that's you, that's a sign that this is what you're meant to be doing. And you don't have to worry about being equipped, having all the knowledge. You just have to trust that you're going to be equipped because you were called. All right, so I hope that has helped you to make a decision right now that you're not going to wait any longer, that you're going to keep moving forward on your path. Because if you're not moving forward on the path you're really meant to be on, and you're not growing, then you're on the decline and you're not going to be happy. You're not going to be challenging yourself. You're going to be settling for things that feel safer and more comfortable, but you don't really get what you're meant to do here in this earth, right? And that is horrible. That makes people feel depressed and miserable. And you did not come to this planet to be limited in any way. You came to explore it, to savor it, and to share that with other people and give back. So I invite you today to make a decision that now is the time to get started on the path and start giving back through your work as a nutritionist. And I also invite you to join me for the Nourish Nutrition Business Program. Now, this is a program that helps you create a foundation for your business to thrive and to grow so that you can do everything that I mentioned in previously, the creating a signature system, creating classes, e-courses, etc., and a private package that you can support people to get results. One that's designed to get results, not something that you just like by default, just show up to your sessions unorganized and have no idea what you're doing organization-wise. And that actually gives people a lot of confidence. It's just creating that system that will help you at least feel like you have a system in place to help you track your client's progress and to help you track that you have actually put in place all the foundational pieces for that client to actually have the environment that they live in and the environment internally created for their body to heal themselves. Now, it has to be created in a way that like that. It will not just happen on automatic pilot, okay? You have to be somebody who is dedicated to doing this work, to designing something that gets people results, okay? And helps you stay organized so that you feel on top of your work with people and not overwhelmed or feeling nervous about your sessions because you don't know what you're going to do when you get there, okay? So that's what a signature system does, and that's what I teach you amongst many other things in the Nourish Nutrition Business Program. So if you have not seen the 5-part free video series where I explain to you this whole concept of taking your nutrition business and designing it inside of a package model, using a signature system to create a package and a program for people that gets results, then you're going to want to join me for that free video series. I'm going to post the link below the video and above the video, and it's entirely free. And you'll learn so much just from that will allow you to decide if that is actually the path that is a match to what you resonate with and how you feel that you would like to design your business. Okay, so I'd like to give you a free taste of what that would be like so that you can make a confident decision. And I teach you how also to do that in your business for your clients so that you make sure that you get the right clients, because you don't want to be offering things to people that is not a fit for them either, right? You want ideal clients because then you love your life serving people. You look forward to having your sessions with your clients, and you want them to feel confident about you and your program. And creating a package, signature system that's delivered in a package model is the way to do that. It gives you confidence and it gives your clients confidence that you can help them. All right. So I invite you to join me for that video series, and I will see you then in video 1. Bye for now.